Hey there, thanks for tuning into Duckbricks. I'm Chris, and the Inside Tour is a special tour at LEGO headquarters in Billund, Denmark, held every single year, where people get an in-depth look into how LEGO makes sets, the factory, they get a chance to meet the CEO of LEGO and do all sorts of great stuff, and at the end of the tour, every single person gets an exclusive set just based around that year. And today with me, I have a copy of the 2023 LEGO Inside Tour exclusive set, the LEGO Fire Engine, based off of an original wooden fire engine, which you can see on the back of the box. This is a set that thankfully has been sold to me by a fan of the channel, so thank you so much for selling me this set. I had an absolute blast putting it together, and it's quite interesting because it does actually use a couple of exclusive printed components and exclusive recolors as well, making it pretty impossible to actually recreate on your own. The box has been signed by Stuart Harris, legendary LEGO model designer at the LEGO house, and the set itself is super cool, so let's dive into it right now. Is set number 4000040. It is the LEGO Inside Tour Fire Engine. This is a really nice piece of LEGO history, harkening back to one of the most specialized and popular LEGO wooden toys from the very early days of LEGO as a company. Now, before we jump into the set itself, I do want to talk a little bit about the packaging and how you get this. Obviously, as I mentioned in the intro, you can get this via the LEGO Inside Tour, and yes, this is the exact bag that it comes in, but what's really cool about the set is that obviously these are made in a very limited capacity and produced just for the Inside Tour itself. So much so that the box is actually just a slipcover over a plain white box, which we actually later saw are the same types of boxes they use for packaging prototypes before they print the final version. Now, onto the back of the box here, this actually talks through the history of the fire engine itself. The very first wooden fire engine, which you can see right here, was released in the 1930s, and obviously this is kind of a tribute to every fire engine that has come from LEGO ever since. It's pretty crazy seeing that there are 9 decades of LEGO fire engines. Absolutely wild. Obviously it is kind of a staple when telling the story, and I'm not going to read through all of the text here, but you can actually see some different parts of pieces of actually how this all came together. The designer, Henrik Anderson, talking about making the final model, as well as how much effort was put into it. And what's really interesting is that they actually do talk a little bit about some of the new elements they created for this model. Specifically, there is a new type of LEGO string introduced for the rolled up fire hoses, which is super interesting. So definitely really cool to see actual new pieces being created for this particular set, as well as some brand new prints, which we'll take a look at later on. Now, moving on to the actual set itself, for that you can see the instruction manual here just kind of has a brief history of the LEGO Inside Tour sets on the front cover of the manual, and then not much else to see other than that. This year's LEGO Inside Tour set, which has just been revealed, is a model of the Inside Tour Vault, which I think is super cool, and definitely a set that I want to get because I got a chance to see it during my own personalized LEGO Masters Inside Tour last year. But finally talking about the set itself. So this is the fire engine, and it is basically a one-to-one replica of the original wooden toy. What's most special about this set is they actually printed some new elements for the set itself exclusive to this. Of course, one of the most sought after ones is definitely going to be this printed original LEGO logo curved brick, which is super cool. You get 2 of these in the set, one on each side of the fire engine, and then you have these slightly less useful but also very nice looking drum lacquered silver printed front grills, allowing you to just have another layer of extra detail when it comes to the set itself. Now, the new fire part that I was talking about, the new fire cord element here, it includes 2 of them, and it's a very interesting type of string. These are not really attached by any studs, but they really just wrap on the inside of these 2 assemblies here. It is a really interesting type of LEGO part to include, and it's unlike really any other string that we've gotten from LEGO before. Sure, there have been some Technic sets that used a similar style of string as kind of a particular pulley system, and some LEGO Education sets that also used a more rigid type of string like this, but not quite in this color and this exact length, meaning that this is technically a brand new piece introduced for the set. It came in a little cardboard box, which was super interesting to see how they actually packaged it in the set itself, and it definitely is one of the most special components of the set. Now, starting off, the first thing that is immediately really impressive to me about this model is that there are barely any studs in sight. In fact, really the only studs are the ones on the top hood here, which is meant to mimic and reflect kind of a top engine and some of the roughness of the top of the wood model, and then you get a couple of studs here and there, but they are few and far between. Otherwise, this model is pristine. There are almost no studs. It is incredibly clean in the way that it's done, and I even especially love the miniature toy fire truck in the driver's seat right there. Just a nice little homage to maybe that could be a little model of the wooden toy that somebody is playing with in the front seat, which I think is just a super cute function of this car itself. Now, this actually does have quite a few different features to it, which I found to be really impressive, and we'll take a look at those in a second. But before that, I just want to call out the aesthetics. The front seats are really nicely done. The mold on the actual seat themselves are curved, making it feel incredibly smooth, almost not like Lego, which makes sense because this was kind of an era before the Lego brick, and they have pretty seamless integration of some Lego Technic panels to really make this feel like its own structure. But now, let's talk about the functions, because not only is this a really nice display set, but it also is fully playable as well. So obviously you can raise and lower the pieces here, and actually you can choose to decide on how you want to actually raise and lower the particular components of the ladder. But what's really cool to me is this particular feature. We're turning the crank on the side here. Let me just get that in right there. Will actually allow you to lengthen out the ladder. So that is a really nice function. It is super simple to just be actuated by a set of string being pulled outwards. But now you can really just have that ladder go all the way out. The length is quite remarkable in how far out it goes. Of course, you can move it upwards if you want to get to a particular point. I just think that is a really nice touch and one of the coolest features of the model. Now, to wind it back in, all you need to do is actually, there is a lock on the inside of the gears here. It's really nicely hidden away, but you just push the lock on the other side, and then you can kind of pull it back in. This is more of a manual process, but you can pull it back in by allowing the string to rewind itself back up. So you can kind of just truncate it like so. Once you're happy with the positioning of how you've got it, you can put the lock back into place, which, as you can see, prevents you from turning the handle any further to this side. And there you have it. That is a super simple function, but one that works incredibly well for a fire truck set like this. You also have a stopper here, so if you do want to move this particular stopper, you can stop the handle from moving another way, so it actually has a dual function of stopping the handle from moving one way or another, which I think is a really nice touch. Now, finally, this is mostly just for show, but you can also, of course, pretend like it is some sort of a hose. You can stick it onto the side of the fire engine. It just kind of sticks inside loosely into Technic holes, so that works out really nicely. And overall, this has been our look at the LEGO Inside Tour Fire Truck set. Now, on Bricklink, this is costing approximately $5,000 to $6,000 US. In fact, the cheapest listing is around $5,000, and it just goes more and more expensive from there, making this absolutely one of the rarest LEGO sets in my collection, but definitely one I had to pick up, not only on my quest to own every single Inside Tour LEGO set, but because I felt like this is such a cool model, and I really wanted to showcase it on YouTube because most people will just keep theirs in the box, which I think is a bit of a shame, because I feel like LEGO sets are made to be built and played with. And so, of course, the instant I got this, I opened up the box and made sure to build out all of the pieces because I wanted to be able to experience what it is like to play with this LEGO set in hand. That's all for this video, and I hope you enjoyed our look at the LEGO Inside Tour Fire Truck set. I definitely am looking to get my hands on this year's, the Memory Vault Tour, so please do let me know if you have one for sale in the comments below. And that's all for this video. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I hope you enjoyed.
All right, and that was last year's LEGO Inside Tour 2023 set. I hope you enjoyed our special look, and it definitely is going to look really good next to the other copies of the Inside Tour sets I own, like the Ferguson tractor, which I actually have mounted to the side of my wall right there. Another really nice model replica of one of the original LEGO Inside Tour and plastic toys, as well as the only other Inside Tour set I have right now is the LEGO Truck Show set, which you can see in my city right here, which is another really great set to take a look at. That's all for this video. I hope that you enjoyed. Thank you so much for tuning into Duck Breaks, and be sure to like and subscribe for even more LEGO news, reviews, discussion, and analyses coming your way very soon, and bye for now.